Chosen ones. They don't teach this in schools. They don't whisper it in the open. Because if every chosen one understood how their money is being stolen, silently, daily, entire systems would collapse overnight. You see, the greatest danger to a chosen one isn't lack of talent or opportunity. It's the invisible traps built around them, traps that look like comfort, approval, or even success. These traps aren't random. They're designed to make the gifted go broke, designed to keep the divine distracted, designed to silence the few who were meant to rise. If you've ever felt like every time you take a step forward, something drags you 2 steps back, this message is for you. Because you're not lazy. You're not unlucky. You're targeted. The world knows that a chosen one with money, purpose, and clarity becomes unstoppable. So it creates distractions, shiny, spiritual-looking, but deadly to destiny. Before we dive into this, pause for a moment. If you know you're chosen, if you feel that fire in your spirit that refuses to die, no matter how hard life hits, comment 1111 right now. Because that number isn't just digits, it's alignment, awakening, and confirmation that you're meant to see this. And while you're here, help us reach 5,000 subscribers. This community isn't just another YouTube channel. It's a gathering of purpose-driven souls who are done letting the world drain their blessings. Every like, every share, every comment helps awaken another chosen one. Now listen closely. Over the next few minutes, we're going to expose 9 dangerous traps that are stealing your money right now. Traps so subtle that most people never notice until it's too late. But you're not most people. You were built to see through illusions, to rise through pain, and to reclaim what's yours. So sit back, breathe, and prepare yourself, because some of what you'll hear may hit hard. You'll start connecting dots that were hidden in plain sight. You'll realize how certain patterns, people, and even habits were never random. They were traps meant to stop you before you stepped into your calling. This is your wake-up call. You're not here by accident. You were guided here for a reason. By the end of this, you'll understand exactly how to break free from the forces that have been silently robbing your divine wealth. Because the moment you see the trap, it loses its power. Comfort is a beautiful lie. It feels warm, safe, and familiar. But for the chosen one, it's one of the most dangerous traps ever created. It doesn't destroy your purpose overnight. It slowly suffocates it while whispering, "You're doing fine." See, the illusion of comfort isn't about peace. It's about paralysis. It's that invisible zone between where you are and where you're meant to be. The zone that feels calm but kills progress. For most chosen ones, it begins innocently. A little rest after a storm. A small break after a victory. But before you know it, that rest becomes routine. That "I'll do it tomorrow" becomes a lifestyle. And purpose starts slipping away quietly without warning. The truth is, destiny doesn't live in comfort. It lives in discomfort, in stretching, in risks, in the unknown. Every time a chosen one stays comfortable, they delay their own evolution. And that's exactly what the world wants. Because a comfortable chosen one is harmless. A comfortable chosen one doesn't question, doesn't build, doesn't fight back. Think about it. Comfort tells you to stay at that job you've outgrown, just because it pays the bills. Comfort tells you to hold on to toxic people, just because you fear being alone. Comfort tells you that your dreams can wait, but deep down, you know, they can't. Every second you settle, your spirit grows restless, because it knows there's more waiting beyond that safety net. Comfort doesn't just steal money, it steals movement. It keeps you spending your time, energy, and resources in circles, never advancing, never multiplying. You might still be working hard, but it's the wrong kind of hard, the kind that keeps you busy without building your purpose. And here's the trap. Comfort disguises itself as peace. But peace is divine alignment. Comfort is spiritual sedation. One sets you free, the other puts your potential to sleep. The chosen ones who rise, financially and spiritually, are the ones who dare to break that cycle. They challenge their own patterns. They move even when it's uncomfortable. They invest in growth instead of staying safe. So if you've been feeling stuck, stagnant, or strangely unmotivated even when life looks fine, Take this as your sign. You've stepped into the trap of comfort. Break it now. Push yourself where your purpose pulls you. Remember, you weren't chosen to stay still. You were chosen to build, to expand, and to shake the world awake. Comfort is the counterfeit of calling, and your calling is waiting for you on the other side of fear. This is one of the most subtle and seductive traps that drains a chosen one's power, the need for validation. It doesn't come with warning signs. It comes dressed as connection, support, or recognition. But in truth, it's a trap that slowly empties both your spirit and your wallet. The validation game begins the moment a chosen one forgets who they are. When you start depending on others to confirm your worth, you unknowingly hand them control over your value. You buy things to look successful. You invest in what will impress, not what will grow you. You spend energy proving instead of becoming. And all that time, money, and focus that should be building your purpose gets lost chasing approval that was never yours to earn. For the chosen ones, validation is expensive. You pay for it with your peace, your potential, and your divine resources. Think about how many people buy clothes, cars, or status symbols just to be seen, not because they need them, but because they fear being invisible. But visibility without authenticity is empty. It's like shining a light with no fire behind it. The truth is, your value was already sealed when you were chosen. You don't need to audition for acceptance. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone who can't see your spirit. The world will often ignore your depth because it can't measure it. And that's okay. You were never meant to fit into shallow waters. Here's where the financial trap deepens. When validation becomes your motivator, your decisions stop serving your purpose and start serving your image. You might take jobs that pay well but drain your soul. You might follow trends instead of divine timing. You might give to people who only take, hoping they'll finally see your value. But they won't, because validation seekers attract users, not believers. Chosen ones must understand this. Approval is a currency, and you can't afford to spend it. Every time you seek it, you lose alignment. Every time you chase it, you delay your blessing. And the people who truly carry destiny don't chase validation. They attract respect through authenticity. You were designed to influence, not impress. To lead, not to please. So the next time that old voice whispers, "What will they think?" silence it with this truth. I don't live for their opinion. I live for my purpose. Validation is a thief dressed as a friend. Stop giving it your attention. Stop giving it your money. And stop letting it define your worth. Because the moment you no longer need to be seen is the moment the world finally notices you. Not everyone who teaches wants to see you grow. Some want to feed off your hunger. Others want to shape your journey to serve theirs. This is the dark reality behind the false mentor syndrome, a trap that has drained the money, confidence, and destiny of countless chosen ones. It starts with a promise. Someone appears at the right moment, when you're searching for guidance, when you're wounded, or when you're desperate to break through. They speak the right words. They sound wise, experienced, even spiritual. You feel seen. You feel understood. And before you realize it, you've handed over your trust, your time, and your resources to someone who doesn't actually want to empower you. They want to own you. False mentors are master illusionists. They know how to mimic divine energy, but their fruits reveal their truth. They demand loyalty, not growth. They guilt you into dependence. They twist your failures into lessons that only they can help you fix for a price. You'll notice it, the constant pull to join, subscribe, upgrade, or donate, all in the name of progress. Yet you're not progressing. You're circling the same mountain, wondering why the summit feels farther each time. This trap doesn't just steal money. It steals discernment. It makes you question your intuition. That divine voice inside, you that already knows the truth. And once you stop trusting that inner voice, you become easy to manipulate. But here's the truth. Real mentors don't demand worship. They don't manipulate your emotions or control your path. Real teachers guide you back to yourself. They build independence, not dependency. They light the path, then step aside so you can walk it. Chosen ones must learn to test every spirit, not by the words they speak, but by the peace you feel. If someone's guidance drains your energy, empties your pockets, and feeds your fear, that's not a mentor. That's a merchant. You were not chosen to be a follower forever. You were chosen to evolve into a leader, a light, a guide for others. So protect your energy, protect your resources. Before investing in anyone's wisdom, pause and ask, does this make me stronger or smaller? The false mentor syndrome thrives on blind trust. So open your eyes. Trust your discernment more than anyone's charisma, because sometimes the person you think is helping you climb is actually the one keeping you dependent at the base. And remember, no earthly guide should ever replace your divine connection. You already carry the blueprint within you. The right teacher will simply remind you how to read it. This is the most invisible trap of them all, the one that lives not outside you, but inside you. The poverty mindset isn't just about having little money. It's a belief system, a spiritual virus that convinces chosen ones they're not meant to have abundance. It whispers that wealth is selfish, that success is dangerous, that struggle somehow equals holiness, and it spreads quietly, passed down from generations that learned to survive but never learned to thrive. From childhood, many chosen ones are taught that wanting more makes you greedy, that having less makes you humble, that just enough is a blessing. But this mindset is the chain that keeps divine people poor in a world where purpose needs resources. The truth is, you can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't build God's vision with a starving spirit. The poverty mindset thrives on guilt. It makes you feel wrong for wanting better. It convinces you that financial growth means abandoning your values. But it's a lie. Money isn't evil, it's neutral. It only amplifies who you are. In the hands of the chosen, money becomes ministry. It builds homes, feeds families, funds dreams, and frees generations. Yet this mindset keeps many chosen ones stuck in cycles of lack. You'll see it in the way they talk. I can't afford it. That's too expensive. Maybe later. It's not the money that's missing. It's the belief that they deserve more. Because until you believe you're worthy of wealth, you'll keep pushing it away every time it comes close. The world knows this. That's why it never fears a poor chosen one. A broke chosen one can't build influence. A fearful chosen one can't create change. That's why the trap of poverty thinking is so effective. It keeps divine power locked behind mental walls. Breaking this trap doesn't start with earning more. It starts with believing different. You must rewrite every story you've been told about money. Start seeing it not as survival but as a tool for impact. Stop asking, can I afford it? And start asking, how can I create it? Because creation is your divine nature, not limitation. Every time you invest in yourself, you declare war on the poverty mindset. Read, learn, build, multiply. Give from overflow, not from emptiness. Remember, it's not humble to stay small when you were born to expand. You are not meant to chase money. You're meant to attract it by walking in alignment. Because when purpose moves, provision follows. So say this aloud, I release the poverty mindset. I choose abundance with purpose. Because the moment your mind shifts, your entire reality begins to change. Emotional spending is the silent leak in the bank account of every chosen one. It's not about the money itself, it's about the void that money tries to fill. And this trap is dangerous because it hides in plain sight. It doesn't look evil. It looks like reward, comfort, or self-care. But behind every impulsive swipe, there's often an emotion you're trying to quiet. You've felt it before. That sudden urge to buy something after a hard week, to treat yourself after heartbreak, or to distract your mind from the weight of purpose. It feels good in the moment, right? Like a release. But the truth hits later, when the high fades, the balance drops, and you realize you didn't buy joy. You only rented relief. Chosen ones feel deeply. Their spirits absorb more, sense more, love more. And because of that sensitivity, they're often vulnerable to emotional spending. Pain becomes expensive. Loneliness becomes costly. Stress becomes an open door for small rewards that slowly turn into big regrets. But here's the truth. Every dollar you spend emotionally is a soldier sent to fight the wrong battle. Money carries energy. It listens to intent. When you spend from emptiness, you multiply emptiness. When you spend from power, you multiply abundance. The world knows this weakness. That's why marketing plays with emotion. Treat yourself. You deserve this. Don't think, just buy. Those aren't slogans, they're spells, designed to make the chosen ones spend their blessings before they ever build their foundation. To break free from this trap, awareness is your weapon. Before you buy anything, pause and ask, am I buying this out of purpose or pain? If it's pain, sit with it. Feel it, heal it. Because emotional wounds don't need a receipt, they need release. Start seeing money as sacred. Assign every dollar a mission. Give it purpose, direction, and discipline. When you track where your money goes, you'll start to see where your energy leaks. And once you close those leaks, you begin to regain control, not just financially, but spiritually. Emotional discipline is financial protection. You cannot be ruled by moods and expect to master wealth. The chosen ones who rise are those who learn to pause, breathe, and choose intention over impulse. So next time you're tempted to spend to feel better, remember this: your peace isn't in the purchase, it's in your power. The moment you stop buying to escape emotions and start building to express purpose, money stops slipping away and starts flowing toward you. These next traps are the ones most people never notice because they've been normalized. They don't come through temptation or fear. They come through systems, everyday habits, cultural trends. These are the hidden chains of the world that keep even the wisest chosen ones quietly enslaved. Let's uncover them one by one. Trap 6. Debt disguised as convenience. Debt isn't always a villain in plain sight. Sometimes it's dressed as opportunity. Buy now, pay later. 0% interest. Flexible credit. Sounds harmless, right? But for the chosen one, this is the easiest way to chain divine potential to man-made systems. Debt promises freedom but delivers control. It tricks you into believing you're advancing when, in reality, you're building someone else's empire. Each swipe, each loan, each line of credit is a silent agreement that you'll trade your future peace for present pleasure. The truth? Convenience is expensive. It costs more than interest. It costs independence. A chosen one's power comes from ownership, not owing. So learn to delay gratification. Learn to live below the noise. Every dollar you keep is a declaration of sovereignty. Trap 7. The distraction culture. We live in an era designed to drain attention. Scrolls, reels, trends. Every second, something fights to steal your focus. And focus is the most valuable currency of a chosen one. Where attention goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, money grows or dies. Distraction doesn't just waste time, it bankrupts purpose. You think you're resting, but you're actually programming your mind to chase stimulation instead of stillness. And the more you chase stimulation, the less room you have for revelation. Remember this: every hour you give to distraction is an hour stolen from destiny. The algorithm isn't the enemy, apathy is. Reclaim your attention. Use your screens to build, not escape. Guard your focus like a vault, because the enemy doesn't need to steal your money when it can steal your time. Trap 8. The savior complex. Here's the one that looks holy but hurts deeply. The savior complex. It's when a chosen one gives and gives until nothing's left. You try to save everyone, friends, family, strangers, because your heart can't stand watching others suffer. But in saving everyone else, you quietly lose yourself. The truth is, not everyone wants saving. Some people want your light, but not your discipline. Your help, but not your guidance. And the moment you pour too much, you start funding other people's comfort at the expense of your calling. Generosity is divine, but overgiving is disobedience. You can't heal the world by bankrupting your purpose. Boundaries don't make you selfish. They make you sustainable. Give from overflow, not from emptiness. Because the chosen one's mission isn't to carry everyone. It's to lead them to the source. Basil D. C. Setitul. These three traps, debt, distraction, and the savior, complex, are the modern chains that keep divine people bound in an invisible prison. They don't need force to control you. They just need you unaware. Wake up, reclaim your focus, guard your energy, protect your resources, because freedom doesn't begin when the world stops trapping you. It begins when you stop participating in the traps. There's one final trap, the most dangerous of them all, the one that doesn't come from the world, but from within. The moment a chosen one starts to rise, this trap quietly appears. It's not greed, it's not arrogance, it's something far more subtle, forgetting the source. You see, when blessings begin to flow, when doors open, when money finally starts to multiply, it's easy to think, I did this. It's easy to forget the divine hand that guided you, the faith that sustained you, the purpose that called you out of the wilderness. And that's exactly when the fall begins, not financially but spiritually. Trap 9 is the detachment from divine alignment. It's when the chosen one starts chasing success instead of stewardship. When money becomes the master, not the mission. When you start to measure your worth by your bank account instead of your obedience. The enemy doesn't need to destroy your wealth. He just needs to disconnect you from why you were blessed in the first place. Because money without meaning is a slow death. It buys comfort but kills purpose. But here's the awakening. You were never meant to worship wealth. You were meant to wield it. Money in your hands is meant to serve light, growth, and legacy. It's a tool, not a throne. When you align your finances with your faith, abundance stops feeling random. It starts feeling divine. So pause and reflect. How often do you thank the source, not just for the big wins, but for the wisdom to make the right financial decisions? How often do you seek divine direction before making big moves? Because the moment you bring gratitude back into your finances, flow returns, peace returns, power returns. This is the awakening of the chosen ones, the realization that wealth is sacred, not because of what it buys, but because of what it builds. It builds freedom. It builds opportunities. It builds impact that outlives you. So now, look at your life. Look at the 9 traps we've uncovered. Comfort, validation, false mentors, poverty thinking, emotional spending, debt, distraction, the savior complex, and finally, forgetting the source. Each of them was designed to pull you away from purpose. But now you see them. And once you see the trap, it loses its power. This is your moment to reclaim your financial authority. Take back your focus. Set boundaries. Think with intention. Spend with purpose. Build with divine clarity. If this message spoke to your spirit, comment 1111 right now below. Let's awaken the algorithm for good. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because we're building a community of 5,000 strong. Chosen ones who refuse to be deceived, who rise together, and who walk in both purpose and prosperity. Remember this, your money is not your master. It's your mirror. It reflects your mindset, your faith, and your discipline. Protect it, direct it, and let it serve your mission, not silence it. You are chosen. Stay awake, stay aligned, stay free,